And Mr. Groen, did you have an opportunity to speak to Ms. Harrison?
I did, Your Honor. I tried to explain the difference between a bank garnishment that we could not attack any type of SSI
Yep.
and our state tax garnish, which we filed. But
Right.
Miss
Yeah, Ms. Harrison, they can't take you are correct. They cannot take your disability. But if you get money back from your taxes, they can take that.
Even if it's Social Security that I'm filing on?
It's any tax refund is they can attach to.
But it's not paying, I'm not paying no taxes.
Well, then you won't, if you're not going to get money back, right?
I don't know, because it's earned income credit for my rent.
All I can tell you is that it's not a legitimate objection for a tax garnishment. If the state of Michigan is sending you money back on a tax, on a tax return, that they are entitled to file on that. They can't file on your disability. Do you understand?
Really, I don't understand why they can file to keep the state, but not the actual Social Security.
Well, that you'd have to take up with your legislature. I mean, that's what the law is. I only follow the law. I didn't make them. But I do. A tax garnishment is exempt from the same rules that are applied to the Social Security in a bank account. It's different.
Okay, well,
but I imagine that you're probably not getting money back, and this is separate from if you get like the stimulus money or whatever. That's a different issue.
Okay, well,
it's just a tax garnishment. It's only if the state of Michigan refunds you tax money.
Okay, well, can't they, instead of taking all of it, can't they work something out with Credit One to take a small portion of it?
If you, Ms. Harrison, if you want to give our office a call and talk to someone, I don't have authorization. Unfortunately, I don't have authorization to do that right now. But if you want to give our office a call and explain your circumstance, you can.
What is the amount of money that's owed on this? I have that it's like $2,000, but you don't even know if you're getting Department of Treasury money back or how much it is. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, last year when I filed, because I get $11,000 a year from Social Security.
Yeah.
And last year when I got the credit on my rent, it was for $900 from the state.
Okay, are you married or are you single?
I'm single.
Okay, I'm just curious because there's another twist if you were married that on the tax return. But why don't you? I mean, you don't know what the credit's going to be yet. Why don't you find out what the credit is and then reach out to the creditor to see if you can work something out. For today's purposes, I have to deny your motion because by law, I can't grant it. The objection is denied by law. And then when you figure out what the tax credit is, then call them to see if you can work out something with them. Okay, so that you know what you're talking about then.
Okay, but will they work with me?
Well,
it's already sent to the state to garnish the whole thing.
No, I understand that. I understand. Then reach out to them right now and see if you can work out something. Counsel, do you have a phone number she can call?
Unfortunately, Your Honor, I would not be the one she would contact. And number two, I'm on numerous Zoom hearings, so I wouldn't be able to talk with her right now either. She can call our regular office line and she'd be directed to someone right in the collection department. That's who she would need to speak with.
And I've talked to them before.
It'd be something they would have to send to the client and most of the time the client wants what they want, what they can get. So if it's something you can work out a payment arrangement or something, that's one thing. But the way the client looks at it is you're taking money out of, they're not getting any money out of this account. And if they have to wait for the taxes, then that's why we have to do it this way.
And
For today's purposes, ma'am, that's all I can tell you. I mean, it's only set for an objection on the garnishment and there's not anything I can do about it. If you want to reach out to legal aid or something to try to
Okay.
get some advice. But
okay, well, what
contact,
about the court costs?
pardon?
What about the court costs?
The court costs from them filing the tax garn?
No, the court costs for having to come to court.
There aren't any court costs today. I'm not quite sure.
It's still the judgment amount, and then whatever little interest has probably been earned since the judgment was entered earlier this year. So as far as I know, there has been no other costs added.
But I have, ma'am, I have pre-trials today, and as you can see, or you may not be able to see, but we just joined. We have a lot of people waiting for pre-trials.
Okay,
There isn't anything else I can do for you today, but you
Okay,
have to
thank-
reach out to them and see if you can work something out, okay?
all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Groen. On
Thank you.
Melissa McGinnis versus Michelle Matuska, did Mr. Martone and Mr. Trevor or Mr. Daniel, did you guys have an opportunity to speak to each other?
We did, Your Honor. And at this point, we were kind of discussing one of two paths, and we wanted to see what the court's preference would be. In my opinion, I think there's not a genuine issue of material fact on liability. Mr. Daniels is interested in taking some discovery on damages that my client has allegedly incurred, or that we have allegedly incurred on this case. I had suggested maybe we've prepared a motion for summary disposition that we're finalizing, would be prepared to file within the next week or so. And I had suggested maybe we bifurcate damages from liability. We can file the motion for summary with respect to liability, and if the court finds in favor of plaintiff, then we can address damages. Or alternatively, if the court would prefer a single motion, we could do a limited discovery plan and then file a motion for damages and liability at the same time.
Yeah, I don't really, it doesn't really make any difference to me. If you want me to hear a motion on summary, I could set it for a hearing 2 months out on, it looks like March the 9th. At 9:30.
That's fine with me. My response will be an I-2 motion, because I agree there may not be a huge genuine issue of material fact. I don't think there is liability. They think there is. So it might be easier to.
Actually,
do
why
that.
don't we do it a little bit later in the morning so that to prepare for argument, because I'll have pre-trials earlier. Why don't we do it actually set it at like 11?
Okay.
Does that work? March
Yep.
the 9th at 11 a.m.
Perfect, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, you are all set for today.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Groen, are you all set, or did you have another case?
I had another case, another LVNV funding. I think it's Christina
And
Clement.
actually, yeah, LVNV funding versus Christina Clement. And we have Mr. Evanchek on. Hang on one sec, or I thought I saw Mr. Evanchek.
I'm here, Your Honor. My
Yeah,
client's here.
hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
And I see Ms. Clement is on also. Mr. Evanchek, did you guys, what's going on with this case?
We haven't spoke yet, Your Honor. I've got a pretty good relationship with that office and I got to call them on some other files. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to resolve it, but if you would just give us some discovery time to resolve it, that'd be appreciative.
Do you want, is 60 days good?
That's fine with me, Your Honor.
That sounds good to me as
Then
well.
why
Your
don't
Honor.
we adjourn it to that March 9th date? I am gonna put this one at 9:30 though, Mr. Groen.
Okay,
I'm gonna make a notation, 60 days for discovery. March the 9th at 9:30. And it'll be by Zoom.
thank you, Your Honor.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Anything else on that case?
I believe that should do it.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
You as
Mr.
well.
Evanchek, you're also on Beaumont versus Michelle Gregory. I think I see Mr. Burke on.
Yep.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me pull the file. Oh, I got it. This matter is set for a motion for objections to garnishment. Mr. Evanchek, have you talked to Mr. Burke?
There's also a motion to set aside the default that was entered in this case as
Yep,
well, Your Honor.
I see
Um,
that. I
Okay,
apologize.
yeah, we've exchanged emails. I'm not sure we're any further than where we were when I filed the motions. I had asked for copies of the bills because my client, quite frankly, just didn't get any of this stuff. Whether it be originally from Beaumont or from the plaintiff when it was quote unquote served. And I think I just got the bills yesterday and I forwarded them on to my client to take a look at. And I haven't heard back. I don't know if she's had a chance to do that as of yet.
Mr. Burke, so what do you want me to do?
I would ask that the court sustain the objection to the garnishment and set aside the default judgment in this case, Your Honor. My client was never personally served. The description given by the process server does not match my client. That's to begin with. Secondly, the date that he served this, the governor's shelter-in-place orders were still in effect, and he wasn't supposed to be out there serving them at all. I didn't make note of that in my motion. But that was something that was brought to my attention afterwards, after I filed it. But June 13th was the date he claimed service. They weren't supposed to be out until June 29th. There's
I
4
see that. I see
lawsuits
that.
pending.
I
It's a
see that,
federal
but you're
court.
not objecting, you're not asking for, you're not trying to object to the service. You're just asking for the motion to be set aside.
No, I am
default.
objecting that my client was ever personally served. I don't think it, based upon my client's physical description versus the physical description that the
But
process.
you have knowledge of the case now, so you
Yes.
are not objecting to service. You just want the default set aside,
That is
correct?
correct, Your Honor.
Response, Mr. Burke?
Your Honor, right now I can't see you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't see you either.
I'm not sure. I'm
What happened to
sitting at
your
my desk and
video?
it thinks I'm in driving mode. Either way, Your Honor, I want to work cases out, including with Mr. Evanchek. As he stated, I emailed him not only a copy of the service that he asked for, but also a copy of the itemized statement. My
Mhm.
request is, knowing that in the spirit of compromise and that I try to resolve all my cases, including the few that I've had with him, maybe we could just hold the garn in abeyance and the judgment, keeping it until he and his client review the bills. Maybe he and I could either work out a lump sum offer or a payment plan and report that back to the court. I'm not using my judgment in any way other than this garnishment that I have no objection if you just want to hold for now.
Mr. Evanchek?
Your Honor, I can tell from my client that she's not in agreement with that. Just as some background here, her husband was laid off back in the spring. She is the sole source of income for her household. This money is sorely needed.
Well, the bigger problem, Mr. Burke, is it's troubling to me that the documentation indicates that she was served during the lockdown. I have a criminal docket where people were charged for being out under in violation of the governor's order. And so I
Sure.
imagine that this would qualify as something because they should not have been out process serving during this time.
I agree with you, and I have no comment towards that, obviously.
No,
They don't
I'm
work-
not
They
asking
don't
you for
work for
comment.
me. and I
But,
don't work-
with that being said, the motion to set aside the default is granted. And by its nature, that requires me to grant the motion to the objection of garnishment. So I'm going to do both of those.
Would you, I respect that. Would you
And
set
I'm
a
gonna-
date? Are you setting a new date for an
You're gonna
answer to be
answer,
filed?
Mr. Ivanchek, though, you're gonna file an answer within,
Yeah, as soon as I get a copy of the complaint. I got the bills, I've gotten the proof of service, but I don't have the complaint as of yet.
why don't I adjourn this once again for the 30 days till the March 9th date that seems to be popular this morning? And I'll do this at 9:45 on March the 9th. It'll give you time to answer, give you time to maybe hopefully resolve this matter.
Yeah.
But for today's purpose, I'm gonna set aside the default and grant the motion for the objection on garnishments.
Thank you, Your Honor. Do you need an order on the objection for the?
I
garnishment?
do.
Okay, all right. I'll put some together and email it over to you guys.
That's perfect. Yep,
And Your Honor, may I ask another question?
you can.
Is Mr. Evanchek receiving a copy of the complaint from the court? We don't keep them, and when we called, we got it. We got everything we needed that he requested, but I'd ask that maybe he request it directly from the court. I don't think it's online.
I'm not sure how to do that.
I'm not sure how to do that
Yeah.
either. I mean, it's your client, it's your responsibility. When I say that she wasn't properly served, I think, and he's saying he'll accept service,
Yeah.
you don't keep a copy of the,
If he's saying on the record that he'll accept service, of course, I will get it for him.
yeah, he'll accept service.
I will, yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If that wasn't clear, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I will accept service.
I will get it for him. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going back to, I have anybody here on Velocity Investments versus Terry Brown? No. Okay, I'm gonna set that case to the side. And then I am going to call on Huron Estates versus Duran Crow.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Daniel Landman appearing on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, as you're aware, Mr. Cost, the property manager at Huron Estates, also is present this morning.
And this is a default, although you have to hold it, it's a default on an eviction order on Mr. Crow, although that's, my understanding is it's still gonna be held till the 31st.
Well, it's actually, we already have a judgment in this case, Your Honor. It was a default judgment that was entered in October.
Right, and this was set over for me to sign the writ.
Right. Because more than 60 days have elapsed, we had to file a motion in order to obtain a writ.
I understand that, but I think that I can't sign it unless I'm wrong until after the 31st because of the
If he has a CDC declaration that he has filed, that's correct. I am not aware of a CDC declaration.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought that this was labeled that way, but I'm opening it and I don't see it.
And the fact of the matter is, Your Honor, that the judgment was for a total of $2,093.73, and the balance is now almost $4,500.
Yeah, okay. I made a notation that I'm signing the writ unless there's a CDC order produced. I don't see one. So,
I'm unaware of one as well, Your Honor. Mr. Cost, do you have a CDC declaration on file from this gentleman?
We have not received a CDC declaration.
okay.
Your Honor, I
All right.
believe we did submit a proposed order of eviction.
I signed it.
Do we need to submit a formal order granting the motion, or is
No.
you signed
No.
the writ good enough?
I signed the writ.
All right, very well, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yep, have a good day.
You too.
Miss Dearchats, is that right? Am I totally butchering your name? What case are you on?
Good morning, Judge. Suzanne Sturkharts. I'm on Midland Credit Management, Inc. versus Anika Button for Midland.
And do we have Miss Button on? We do. Have you spoken to Miss Button at all?
No, we haven't, Your Honor.
I'm going to put you in a breakout room with her, and you can have a conversation with her. Okay, Miss Button?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead and hit join. Mr. Brown, I see you're on.
Yes.
I don't have anybody from Velocity Investments. It would be Carol Brent. Hold on a few minutes, Mr. Brown, and we'll see what we can do. Mr.
Okay.
Zaversky, what case are you on?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm on the William Beaumont Hospital v. Shaquille Anwar matter.
I got it. And we have Mr. Anwar on. Have you spoken to him?
I have not, Your Honor.
Mr. Anwar, can you hear me? You got to unmute yourself. Lower left, Mr. Anwar, can you unmute yourself? Maybe not. Mr. Barta, what case are you on?
Your Honor, I'm on Calvary versus Timothy Crum.
Got it. And we have Mr. Crum. Mr. Crum, can you unmute yourself? Apparently that's the kind of day we're gonna have. And Mr. Canine, you're on Crown Asset versus Deshonda Reed.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. That's correct.
And Miss Reed has failed to appear so far this morning, but it was just set at 10. So we'll wait for her. Mr. Crum, can you hear me,
Yeah.
Mr. Crum?
Yes, I can.
I'm gonna put you in a breakout with the room with the attorney, okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Your Honor?
All right, Mr. Barta?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, yep, you're gonna hit join, Mr. Crum, in just a second. Hang
Okay.
on just a minute. I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with the attorney. You're gonna
Thank you,
hit
Your Honor.
join breakout room number 2. Yep.
I'm on there now.
All right, go ahead and hit join, gentlemen.
I guess we're supposed to be agreeing to the agreement.
All right, and then Mr. Sapersky, as soon as we can get Mr. Anwar to, Mr. Anwar, can you hear me? You need to unmute yourself, Mr. Anwar.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. You know what? You're gonna have to wait a minute because I only had 2 breakout rooms. So Mr. Sapersky, just give it a couple minutes, okay?
Just so you know, my internet connection is really unstable, so I keep getting kicked out.
Oh, okay. You know what? Can I do this then instead? Mr. Sapersky, Mr. Anwar, can you write his phone number down and can you call him, Mr. Sapersky?
I am actually currently out of country.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
doing Zoom call from here. So that's why the internet
let's
connection
just
is
see
really
if we
unstable.
can't do this right now then.
Okay.
On William Beaumont Hospital versus Shaquille Anwar, Mr. Sapersky, I know that you haven't talked to Mr. Anwar. Do you want to try to, Mr. Anwar, do you agree that you owe this debt to Beaumont Hospital, or what's your position on this?
I do agree, but the thing is that I wasn't served with bills on my new address since I moved. I think they kept sending the bills to my old address, and then all of a sudden I was served with the sue notice. So I was a bit worried about that.
Okay, so do you want to try to just work out a payment plan on this then?
Currently, I'm out of work and I'm out of country taking care of my mother. So I need a little bit of time to start the payment plan.
council comments?
My only concern was in Mr. Anwar's answer, he thought he only owed $600.21 of the bill, wherein suit was filed for $1,064.83. So I'm wondering if there's something by way of insurance that he knows that I don't.
Did you have insurance that they don't know about?
I did have insurance. I did have insurance, yes. And I think I did make a couple payments when I was at my old address.
And Your Honor, the itemization that I have, this is the balance after Cigna insurance payments. It's the deductible and co-insurance, and that's what the
Well,
balance
let
is.
me ask you a question. Mr. Anwar, how long are you out of country for?
I'm out until February 15th.
Do you want to adjourn this out 2 months to the March 9th date? And maybe Mr. Sapersky, give him your phone number or what, or give him a number that maybe you guys can reach out with each other?
Sure.
Yeah, I can do that. As soon as I return to the country, I can get in contact with Mr. Sapersky.
Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to adjourn it 2 months out to March the 9th at 9:45. And
Okay.
then hopefully you guys resolve it between now and then. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Did you say March the 9th at what time?
At 9:45.
9:45.
March
Okay.
the 9th. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank
That's
you.
fine.
All right,
Thank
yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
On Calvary versus Timothy Crum. Mr. Barta, did you have an opportunity to speak to Mr. Crum?
We did, Your Honor. Due to obviously the circumstances of what's happening in the world today, as well as Mr. Crum's recent surgery, he thinks he's going to be in a much different financial situation 60 days from now to resolve it than he is currently today. So I don't think he's disputing the debt. It's just an inability to pay. However, I think we're asking for 60 days, maybe that same March 9th.
Yeah, March
Great.
9th is the magical day today, apparently. I'll do it March the 9th at 9:45. Okay, Mr. Crum?
And then hopefully we
Thank
can,
you, Your Honor.
hopefully we can
You're
resolve
welcome.
it prior to that date.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Then I'll see you in 60 days. All
Thank you
right.
very much, Your Honor.
Mr. Canine, did you talk to, and is that it for you for the day, Mr. Berta? Oh, that's right, Mr. Canine. We were waiting, we're still waiting on DeShonda Reed. I apologize.
I
Yeah.
spoke with Ms. Reed last week. We worked out the terms of a consent judgment. Did mail it to her. So that may
Okay.
be here this morning. I was just going to request an adjournment, perhaps March 9th.
Or we can do it sooner than that if you want, whatever works best for you.
March 9th, please, because I'm certain that she's going to mail it in pretty quickly. And
All
she'll-
right, and then I'll do it on March 9th at 10 o'clock. 9, 10 a.m.
we should have it in well before that, Your Honor. Thank
And
you.
then you could just let us know and we'll remove it from the docket. But I'll put it on March 9th at 10. If she jumps on after you're gone, I'll let her know.
Fantastic. Thank you so
All
much.
right, okay, you're welcome. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Good morning, Mr. Brown.
Good morning.
If you had contact with anybody from Velocity?
We had some paperwork done. That we know.
You're represented by Mr. Finn. What?
Right.
Yeah, have you talked to your attorney?
Yeah, he's
Neither
supposed to.
attorney appeared this morning.
He's supposed to be on here.
Yeah, all right, well, maybe, give me a few minutes, let me see if I can't call the attorney's offices, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So give me a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Mr. Johnson,
Good morning, Your Honor.
hang on just a second. I'm gonna make 2 phone calls real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
Mr. Finn, good morning. I have your client on. This matter was set at 9 o'clock or 9:30. I apologize. Have you had contact with Miss Burns?
Your Honor, there was an order of consent judgment, and this was signed by myself. I sent a copy to Mr. Brown, and I had thought that this was Velocity. I thought that we returned it to Velocity, and that this matter was all taken care of. And
well, apparently he must think so too, because he didn't appear.
I don't know why this is on the docket, to be honest with you, Your Honor.
But you know what? I'm going to pull it from the docket and make a notation that somebody's going to send us a copy of the consent.
I'll get a hold of them immediately, Your Honor.
Perfect. You're all set for today then. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. My apologies for missing
No
the date.
worries.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
worries. All right. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
You're welcome. Miss Schultz. We're waiting on Elizabeth Butler from Zeal Credit Union, and then we'll do your case. Mr. Johnston, what case are you on?
I'm actually here in place of Miss Butler.
Well, there you go. Then we didn't have to wait very long. Zeal Credit Union versus Brianna Schultz. Do you have, this matter was set today for a pretrial and a motion for summary disposition. Do you want to have a conversation with Ms. Schultz in a breakout room?
Sure, that sounds fine, Your Honor.
Ms. Schultz, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with the attorney. Hang on just a second. Can you, Ms. Schultz, can you hear me? Before I stick you in there, I'm not here. I'm not Ms. Schultz. She's got to figure out her sound. On Midland Credit versus Anika Button, did you have an opportunity to have a conversation with Ms. Button, counsel?
Yes, we did, Your Honor. We do have a consent judgment for the relief is prayed for in the complaint with a payment plan of $100 monthly beginning February 1st and the first of each month thereafter, with a provision that if the defendant fails to pay as agreed, the plaintiff may file an affidavit of noncompliance and the payment plan shall be set
Perfect.
aside.
And Ms. Button, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And does she have permission to sign your name to the consent?
Oh, I'm not signing it.
Well, she would sign your name so she doesn't have to send it over to you and then you send it back and then you send it to us, if that's okay with you.
Yes, ma'am, that would be fine.
Okay, counsel, then you can sign her name. And then along with that, if you go ahead and email it to us to civil34dc@gmail.com, then we can get it back to you.
Okay. And
All right,
then,
and you'll
will
get a
the
copy
court
of that
also-
too, Ms.
when the
Button,
court will-
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So the court mails a copy to Ms. Button, okay.
Yep.
And the email is 34DC.
civil34dc@gmail.com.
Got it.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
perfect. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ms. Schultz, we'll try again. Can you hear us? Nope, no sound. Trying to see if I have a phone number anywhere. Do you have a phone number for her, counsel?
I do not.
Yeah, neither do I. And can you hear me, Ms. Schultz? Yeah, okay. There's a chat. Oh, you got the chat. In the chat, send your telephone number and Mr. Johnston will call you. Perfect. Mr. Johnson, put yourself on mute, call her, and then if we have to, you can just put her on speaker and we'll do it that way.
Okay.
Okay?
Will do.
Will do. Good morning, Good morning, Ms. Smith.
Good
Can you hear
morning.
me?
Yes.
We're waiting for your attorney, officer. We have Attorney Besant that had reached out to me. We're gonna wait for just, good morning. We're gonna wait for just a minute for him to appear, and then I'll do the case, okay?
Sounds great, Judge.
But just
Thank
hang
you.
out just for a second.
Okay. He's late?
Is he always early?
I don't know.
Although, hold on.
He was actually already
Yep.
on this morning. He came on and talked to me, and I said, you know what, give me your number, I'll figure it out, and I'll get back with you. So he was actually already here, and then I just called him a couple minutes ago and told him that we would do it at 10:30. So he should jump on any minute.
Okay.
Different cases that are being let in.
Yeah.
Good morning, Miss Martin. What case are you on?
Okay, I am on case number 20.
Don't give me a case number, just give me the name.
Okay, Kelly Martin, DeRay Martin, and Desiree Martin versus Spirit Airlines, Inc.
I think you're in the wrong place. Is this a small claims case?
It was supposed to be a small
Okay.
claims case that
Then-
the attorneys moved up to.
Then it wouldn't be, you're gonna have to give me a minute and let me make a phone call. Because, go ahead, Mr. O'Connell, did you want to
Your
say
Honor-
something?
Yeah, if I may, I'm representing the defendant in this case, Spirit Airlines, and we had in fact removed it from the small claims docket to the trial docket.
But it's
And
not on my docket today. So let me call the civil department and find out what's going on. Mr. Betts, you're checking in on, Mr. Connell, what's the name of the case? It's Spirit Airlines. That's good enough.
Yeah, Martin versus Spirit Airlines.
Yeah, hang on a second.
Very good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Maybe that's what makes noise.
Okay, on the Spirit Airlines case, what's the case number?
Case number 202992.
You cut out 2992
SC.
SC.
No,
Well,
that
it's-
was the initial small claims.
It's now a
Hang
GC
on,
case.
hang
Your Honor.
on. And what's the plaintiff's name?
Kelly Martin.
Kelly Martin. Sorry, it was set on a review. They pulled it. It wasn't technically set on my docket. So they're going to notify you. So you'll get a notice and it will be in front of me, but it's not today. Okay.
Okay,
So I
so we're-
apologize.
Was
All
your
right.
text
You're
in-
all set. Thank you. And
Thank
Mr.
you.
Thank you.
Basant, hang on 1 second and I'll do your client. Hang on.
Yes.
All right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right. So Miss Martin, you're all set. Mr. Basant, on the airport, I'm gonna call the case. It's People versus Demisha Ricotta Ebony Smith. On behalf of Miss Ebony Smith, Mr. Basant.
And good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Kevin Basant, P71061, on behalf of Ms. Demisha Smith, who's in custody at the moment, Judge.
Yeah, and I have a warrant from March of this year that was sent, and she was just picked up, it looks like, today. Do you waive the formal reading?
I do, Judge. For arraignment purposes, you stand mute and waive a formal reading.
Perfect. And then I'll enter a plea of mute on her behalf. I'll schedule this for a probable cause conference on January the 20th at 10:20 a.m. with Judge Martin. I will release her on a $10,000 personal bond. Detective, I know that there was a request for a cash bond. The attorney has reached out to me. I'm going to make it a personal bond, and she can appear on the 20th at 10:20. Okay.
Sounds good, Your Honor. Thank you. Yeah, we
All
don't
right,
oppose
thank
that.
you. And Mr. Basant, this will be by Zoom on before Judge Martin. Actually, if you could give me your what I have your cell phone number. What's your P number?
71061.
For purposes of, can I get your
Email.
Yep.
It's Kevin, Kevin, at Kevin, Kevin. My last name Basant, Bssant.
Okay, I had a moment and
No problem.
Okay, give it to me again. It's Kevin
at kevinbasantlaw.com. So my first Kevin Basant, Bessant LAW.com.
Got it.
kevinbasantlaw.com, Judge.
Got it. Perfect. All right. Thank you very much. And Ms. Smith, we'll see you by Zoom in 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Thanks, Judge. Bye now.
Thanks. Bye. On Zeal Credit versus Brianna Schultz, did you have an opportunity to speak to Ms. Schultz?
I did, Your Honor, and she is, I have her here on speakerphone.
I think I may have fixed my audio. Can you hear me over there?
Oh, no, now we can hear you, Ms. Schultz, so you can hang up.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect, okay?
You gotta hang up because we got back feed.
Okay. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so did you guys have an opportunity to speak?
Yes.
We did, Your Honor.
And what's the status of this case then?
I told Ms. Schultz that I, still want to go forward with my motion for summary disposition.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I did receive paperwork regarding my letter that I'm requesting for a payment plan. When I did purchase this vehicle with the loan, the vehicle was broke down 6 months after I got the actual car. So unfortunately, I did drop the ball here and I did not continue payments, and I do take full responsibility of that. And I'm just asking Your Honor that I could get a payment plan of some sort. I can afford up to $100. I make about $2,100 a month after expenses and after all the bills.
Do you have authority to authorize a $100 a month payment plan, Mr. Johnson?
I do not, Your Honor, and that's something I also discussed with Ms. Schultz, is that any type of payments would need to be approved separately. I don't have authority to enter.
Well,
into
I
it.
do. So I'm going to give you a $100 a month payment plan, Ms. Schultz.
Thank you
And,
so
and
much.
I'll grant the motion for summary disposition, Mr. Johnson. You can renew the motion at some point in the future if you think her financial situation has changed.
Understood.
And I'm going to order $100 a month to begin when, Ms. Schultz?
I can make the next payment as early as Wednesday.
Well, why don't we do February 1st and monthly after?
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Thank you so
Why
much.
don't you, are you going to submit something for an order that says that, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor. I can certainly do that. We did submit.
I have it. And I'll just write it in.
Okay, Great, thank you, Judge.
Yep. All right, you are all set.
Okay, thank you so much. I do
Thank you
appreciate
very
it.
much and have a
Have
good
a good
day.
one.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye-bye.
Yep. You're all set. Mr. Williams.
Yes,
I have you on, and then Mr. Ayuk is not on yet, so we have to wait for him.
It's a her, it's a she.
I apologize. I actually knew that because I've done that before. Anyway, she's not here yet.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll wait for her. Mr. Ayers.
Yes, I'm here on behalf of Allstate in the matter of
Yep.
CarePoint PT.
Yep, and we have Mr. Betts on also. So CarePoint versus Allstate. What's going on with this case?
Judge, it looks like there is not insurance coverage that my client had thought there was. We will agree to dismiss the case without cost or attorney fees.
And I presume that's no objection, Mr. Ayers?
Certainly not.
All right, it's dismissed. You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It says Donald Bransky. You're not. You are.
Yes, Your Honor, Josie Lewis. I'm sorry.
I thought Miss Lewis. I was like confused for a second. We're waiting on that case. We're waiting on Mr. Coots.
Correct.
Oh, actually, he's in the waiting room. So let's go ahead and let him in. The person named Melanie, what case are you on?
It is case number 2.
No, give me a name. I got you. It's LBNB funding.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. And Mr. Groen, are you on that case, on the LBNB funding case?
Is that Melanie Torty? Is that the
Correct.
defense? Yep, I'm here on that one.
Do you need a breakout room with her?
That'd be great.
Hang on one second. I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with the attorney, Miss Torty. Hang on just a minute. Go ahead and you guys can both hit join.
Thank you.
Now back on Valerie McLeod versus Ricky Juarez. Mr. Coots is now here. Miss Lewis. Have you guys had an opportunity to have communication since the last time I saw you right before the holidays?
Good morning, Judge. Robert Coots on behalf of Mr. Juarez. No, we have not. The two attorneys have not discussed this matter. I've tried talking with my client. My client is not in a good place right now due to the death of the co-defendant. I know that doesn't serve the court as far as pushing the case along. Either my suggestion was either to give us some deadlines for discovery, or maybe even I would consent to some type of case facilitation, maybe not like a Wayne County mediation tribunal, but more of a back and forth mediator that can try to facilitate some type of resolution to this.
Miss Lewis, thoughts?
I have no objection to trying to work this out with a mediator, Your Honor. I think that we could set dates. We've already adjourned this once. I'm not opposed to setting dates either if the court was inclined to do that.
Hang on just a second and let me see. I can find my phone. Let me call the civil. Hang on just a minute.
All right.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. Can you hear me?
Mr. Fred Williams, can you hear me?
I do.
How are you, sir?
I'm not well. I had surgery yesterday and my foot is in extreme pain.
I'm going to try to move this through as quickly as possible, sir.
I'd appreciate it because, yeah, the
But as
pain,
you can see-
whatever they gave me for surgery has worn off, and yeah, I'm in extreme pain right now.
But
Okay, Miss Lewis and Mr. Coons, I'm gonna send it to mediation, to the local, that's run out of Dearborn, the mediation services. And we'll see how it goes from there, okay?
Very well.
All right, is there a cost, Judge, just if there
I
is?
don't think that there is.
Okay.
I'll have to double check with civil, but I think that if there is, it's minimal.
Okay,
Do you know what I'm saying? And if it ends up that doesn't work out, I just called over because I'm not sure how many, before the pandemic, we were trying to set this up. And so I'm going to have them reach out. If there's a problem with it, we'll pull you guys back. Okay.
So someone will contact us then.
Yep. Someone will contact you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Judge.
Okay. Thank you. Yep. Have a good day.
you too.
Mr. Munson, what case are you on?
It's Citibank versus Pamela White.
Miss White is not present yet, so.
I'm her attorney.
Oh, so we're waiting on Citibank. Citibank is not present yet. Mr. Preston Nate is not. So we'll wait on him, okay?
Okay.
All right, so just hang out on the Ayuk versus Williams. That matter was set at
10:30.
at 10:30. And it's set for a motion for summary disposition is what I have listed.
That's correct, Judge.
All right, it's just 10:42. I give a half hour before I take a default, counsel. So,
Understood, Your Honor.
so go ahead and mute and hang out.
Yes, sir. Well, yes, ma'am. We'll hang out.